What's up, guys? So here I have a video that I'm going to be talking about some of the best tilts, in my opinion, uh, that you can use in Naruto Storm 4. Now, it's completely opinionated. If you guys have other tilts that you guys think are really good, then, please just tell me. I have no problem trying to learn different tilts. I do I do enjoy playing with tilts in this game. It's probably my preferred playstyle to use tilts to go into other combos and such like that. Um, so, for me, it's all a learning experience, especially since there's some characters I'm trying to get good with. Some of the characters that you guys should see in this gameplay would be one of them, or a couple of them. But just starting it off, the first one I'm going to talk about is Itachi's Crow Tilt. Now, Itachi's Crow Tilt allows for complete immunity from any move that your opponent's going for. Excuse me. It's great for doing that damage. You can drag your opponent all the way towards whatever direction you're going. It's also nice because you could switch out of it, which is a great. I can't speak. I just did a podcast last night for like 3 hours, so forgive that. But yeah, so, it's got the ability to allow you to switch because it's good. You could fake out your opponent by, switching or tilting with Itachi, going in one direction, switching out halfway through and keep going. It's great for fighting large awakenings because the way the crows work, like I said, is complete immunity, so they go through any attack, they go through any chakra charge. It makes it difficult for your opponent to chakra charge you or to pursue you in any way because you'll immediately stop them. And there are only a few tilts that actually do this. But yeah, you can fight big awakenings, you can go right through them, they'll take massive amounts of damage, and Itachi, I don't really like to promote some sort of cheesing in this game, but Itachi's definitely the way to go if you want to, if you're having trouble fighting Kurama or Hashirama's Golem or something like that. The only downside I will say is that because it's one directional, you can't really turn the way other characters will turn in their tilts or even their combos. And you can actually get punished for this if you do happen to drag your opponent and they happen to have, decent range in the start of their combo. If you're within their hitbox, and if your opponent is quick enough to react, they can begin their combo before you are out of the crow form. So you might want to be careful with that. If something like that happens, you may want to, be prepared to guard or counter, however your playstyle requires you to play. Next, I want to talk about B. Now, Killer B is probably one of my new favorite characters that I've been playing as recently. Really good character in singles, and he's a really good character if you're doing team battles on multiplayer. His tilt is really good, and the B I'm talking about is the one without the shark skin. So his tilt is a sort of lunge. It does curve, so it has some level of tracking involved. It's fantastic. Your opponent can't chase you through it. They can't chakra charge you or anything. It does like a million hits, it seems. But it does a great number of hits, which is good because if your opponent's guard is low, you have the possibility of breaking their guard just with their tilt, and you don't actually need to go into a combo, which is always good. Again, because it's a movement tilt, I just lost my words. Because the movement tilt, it means that you don't have to waste any chakra to sort of pursue your opponent, and that's probably the best part of these things when it comes to these movement tilts, because chakra's really important. I mean, yes, chakra is important, but you never want to be low on chakra per se. And there are some people who play very aggressively that they won't even give you the chance to build up chakra, which there's nothing wrong with that, just make it a point. So being able to pursue your enemy with the least amount of energy needed is always a good thing. B's tilt, it allows you to go straight into a combo if you're able to, and I believe you can cancel out of it. This just shows my lack of experience with B, because I've been trying to use B, but I've been using the shark skin B one, and he has a different tilt. He has different he has some different cancels, but yeah, this B's great. All those hits, being able to go into a combo, or again, you know, you could switch out. You could have B continue doing the tilt, and then switch out and go into another character and start comboing there. I mean, absolutely amazing. So, next one I want to talk about, and we'll get to all these clips here. All the gameplay, obviously, going on in the background is gameplay of all the tilts that I have been or will be talking about. So, if I don't get up to that point, you know, I'll just let you guys watch the rest of the video and you guys can see the tilts I'm talking about. But next one I want to talk about is the tilt that's shared by Pain, Nagato, and Awakening Madara. And this is the first reanimated Madara, not the one with his fan. Excuse me, it's early in the morning too. Their pull is, wow, that is a great. First off, Nagato and Pain are very good characters in this game. And Pain did get buffed in a way from Storm 3 to Storm Revolutions. In Storm 3, he had a tilt involving the Crab Summon, which, now that I'm trying to think of it, I believe reminds me a bit of Sai's tilt, if you guys are aware of that. But he ended up receiving the pull, and the pull is great. It's a 360 pull. Works very opposite to the Almighty Push. If you're in the air, if you are around Nagato or Pain, you immediately get brought in close enough so that one of the two can go for a combo. It's awesome for knockbacks because you can knock back your opponent, pull them right in, they'll bounce off the ground, and and you can go immediately for your combo there. That was awkward. I was just out of range of that. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. If I had to say what downside about it is that it's easy to, I want to say it's easy to predict when your opponent's going to go for that type of play. It's really in the middle of a cancel for one of these two guys. These two guys have very easy combos to cancel out of. You can cancel, pull your opponent back in. If it's predicted like that, you know, your opponent's just going to guard it. And then, depending on the character, you know, you'll be within range of their hitbox. Another downside is, which I didn't state for Itachi, is that you could actually counter this tilt. Now, if you try countering Itachi's crows, Itachi's not going to take any damage from it, and that's why I think Itachi's is probably the most efficient tilt in the game. But yeah, if you counter the pull on Nagato or Pain, you know, you will counter the characters themselves and they will get knocked back. You know, that may be something that you want to be aware of. And you could also, like I said, you can guard through it. So if you're in the air, you know, you can guard as you get pulled down, go right into a combo. I don't want to say it's high risk, high reward, but you know, you have to be somewhat strategic when you're using that tilt. If you're a person who likes to use the tilt in the middle of a combo, then, you know, just hope that your opponent's not going to be aware enough about your pattern that they won't counter you in the middle of that, or something like that. But all around, it's still fantastic tilt to use. You know, causes you to sub, causes you to go for these two characters pretty much right where they want you to be. So that even if you have to sub it, and you saw that right there, he was so far away. Even right here, we both get pushed in. We can immediately go for combos. When it happens with Madara will do his pull, and then because it's the Awakening Madara, he'll immediately start bringing trees out of the ground. You know, it's pretty fantastic. Let's see, number 4, and this is one that I assume most people actually wouldn't agree with. I almost think he's in here out of complete favor because I do love his character, but I'd say number 4 is Danzo, and Danzo to me has a pretty good tilt. It's a long-range tilt where he will shoot out 2 wind blasts. Now, if you know how Danzo can be played, you can play Danzo with a very keep away mentality. You can use this tilt, you can use this jutsu, which is one of the faster releasing jutsus. One of the faster releasing long-range jutsus in the game, his wind blast. Because of the nature of Danzo can allow for knockbacks, especially with characters who will assist characters who will promote that. And if you played Storm Revolutions, you know that there's a pretty nasty team composition that you could have done with Danzo, where you would use Danzo and Drive type. Now, if you don't know what Drive type is because you didn't play Revolution, Drive type was sort of Drive type was a separation of one of the assist perks that came out of Storm 3. In Drive type, you had two modes. You had Attack type and you had Defense type. If you had your assist characters in Attack type, they will cause knockbacks. They will help us. They will assist your character in fighting in combos and stuff like that. If you switch to Defense type, they would act sort of like the excuse me. They would act like the dash cuts and chakra guards that you see in this game now. What you used to be able to do with Danzo, and if you watch Chica's Cloud's videos, you could probably go back into his archives and find a Revolutions game where he gets perfected by a guy playing Danzo Drive type. You can go for Danzo's tilt and Danzo's jutsu and just keep knocking the person back. Your attack type assist will keep bringing them back towards you with a knockback, and then you could just do it again. Really, really disgusting. If I'd say a downside about Danzo's tilt, it's that it's one directional, and not just one directional, but he's very vulnerable from behind. So if you manage to get behind him, and I'm thinking this by, wow, that's a really good use of that tilt there. I'm thinking something like Kyuubi Naruto's tilt or something like that, where you can instantly get behind a person, not have to worry about anything. Yeah, he's super vulnerable. He's even vulnerable to other people, like if you want to use your assist characters. So, I would definitely say just pay attention to that when you're using it. It's still really good. It does tons of damage. I mean, tons of damage at times where you'd least expect it. And, I know how to play Danzo decently well, but the keep away strategy is definitely just my preferred playstyle with Danzo, which is a little dirty, but, I think everybody has that character where they kind of play a little bit scum. The last tilt I want to talk about is Edo Minato's tilt, and this is Edo Minato's Yellow Flash tilt. The first part of this tilt, he will tag a person, and they will glow yellow for the rest of the game. Or they will glow yellow for a certain duration of time. I don't actually know what it is yet. But from there, you could actually back up, and every time you go for a tilt, you'll end up going right behind the person, which is great. You could use this to, sort of feign escaping and then just tilting, going behind him, going for another combo again, going for a Rasengan, something like that. I played some guy last week, and he was disgustingly good with Minato. I'm not really good with this Minato. I don't know why. There's something about this Minato that I just can't get a handle on, and I do prefer the other Minato. But this Minato is, one of the top 5 characters in this game. And that guy, we went into a solo match, and he was tilting through all of my combos. I mean, it works that he knows the game very well, so he was able to tell exactly when he can go for a tilt. And that's just like, these little hidden perks that you could find that Minato, if you time it well enough on a certain character, Minato can stop a person from going for a technique. He was able to back off immediately and then tilt back behind me, go for a combo. So I think this one might be the most technical one in that it'll take a lot of work, and it might not work on every single character the first time. You kind of have to know when a character has a sort of downtime in the middle of their combo. But, like I said, I think it's great. But if you guys have any other, opinions on some good tilts, please let me know. I love using tilts in this game. Some of my friends, they like to play very aggressive. I have one who enjoys counter switching a lot, which is kind of frustrating to fight against when I don't expect it. But I love to use tilts to sort of close the gap in places, or, depending on what the tilt is, just work around that. So, yeah, if you guys have, any tilts, then please let me know. have a lot of enjoyment trying to practice them out while I continue practicing this game. And I'll just let the last 40 minutes or so play out. So see you guys later.